happy Monday night. Change my new sensor with me and find out how I found out I had cancer. Words that you never ever thought would come out of your actual mouth. As most of you know, if you've been here and you follow along my daily antics, you'll know that 2 weeks ago tomorrow, I had a funny looking spot cut out of my ear, which is actually healed quite beautifully. I've just got this little bump here, but it's quite flat and you literally probably wouldn't know considering how bad it looked. When I had this removed, it was because it had a high score out of 10 on a probable melanoma scale. And so I agreed to have it surgically removed in the salon. I wish it was at a salon. I agreed to have it surgically excised, just as a small procedure at the skin cancer clinic. And I was then packing up my life to, why do I not have any skin prep wipes left? To go, yes, there's one left. That's luck. I should buy a lotto ticket. He's like, I don't feel very lucky. So anyway, I went, had my skin checked, that whole ordeal. I actually went because of, I don't even know which one it is now. Was it this one? No, you know, the one that was like black and inflamed? One of these little moles on my shoulder, because my back had been so flared up, probably because my body's dealing with so much shit, got really like flaky and gross, and I was actually stressed about that. I had then mentioned to my husband about how my ear had become like sore when I was sleeping, and I'd said, you know, like when you have a blind pimple and you lay on it and it creates pressure. I even took my earrings out. I haven't put my earrings back in yet, now that I know it's not those, because I just could not lay it on that side of my face. So anyway, I went on a Thursday to my lab at uni, and something just said to me, you just need to get online and book an appointment. It was the weekend of the wedding. It was the weekend of the wedding. My sister was here and I said to her, I need to go and get this and this checked because like I'm just not, something's not right. So anyway, long story short, went, had the check. She said, let's get this out. Let's do a cell scrape. Yep, it's high risk. Let's just take it out and send it off. So we did that. And honestly, after I had the surgical removal, my sister-in-law came with me. I packed up my life. I moved out to Narrogin. Well, not moved. I went to Narrogin. And I was just like getting along, you know, getting on with life. I went down to Narrogin. Never thought again about it. I was like, I'm going to get a text message saying, you know, like, it's all good. Let us know when you're back in Perth. We'll do a checkup. I was actually booked to come home the first Saturday because I'd said I was coming home for Mother's Day to have the stitches taken out. And, you know, so that was all good. Anyway, I've like settled in. I went down to Narrogin early. I met all the people staying at the nursing quarters. I had the best time. Everybody was incredible. I could see myself like going back and working long term there. Jake and I even spoke about it, and he said, if you could get a paid contract driving in and out, like do it. He's like, whatever. So anyway, that was like the days. It was great. Oh, I'm gonna bleed again. I'm a bleedy girl. I went to work on the Monday. That was all good. Went to work on the Tuesday, and I was on a PM shift. My phone rang. It was meant to be. I said to the girls, I'm just going to quickly go answer this because I think it could be school and they might have forgot that I'm away. So I answered the phone and heard a specific voice and just went, fuck, that's a thing. I'm supposed to be hearing from her. But she said she could text me, and like my brain is processing this so quickly. And she's like, do you have a minute to talk? I know you're away at the moment. I tried to call when I thought you might be finished work, and I was like, actually, I've just got to work. I'm on a PM shift. She's like, this can't really wait. And I'm just already like, I felt my heart was going a million miles an hour. And I was like, I need to sit down. I need to just, what am I doing? I'm literally standing in a hallway. And I heard the words, stage 2, malignant melanoma, surgical resection, lymph node biopsy, and I'm just going, Hayley, she's not talking about a patient, she's talking about you. And I think I went like as wide as the roof, and I was like shaking, not hypoglycemic shaking, I was actually shaking. It happened a week ago, so I've had a week to process it with my family. I came home the next day. I don't know, it just feels like the whole last week's been a blur. Getting to today, because I finally went and saw the surgeon today, 8 o'clock this morning, got some more information, learnt what my fate was, what my future looks like. I think the best thing is that we obviously caught this part of it early. They just didn't expect it to have like been what it was. So anyway, the be all and end all of it is stage 2, malignant melanoma, invasive melanoma. There's so many words. I am going for a full day of surgery next Tuesday, starting with a lymphoscintigram, which I learned what that was today. Basically a dye injection and 2 hours of radiology. Basically they're taking photos at different intervals, seeing how fast the dye moves into the areas of where your lymph nodes are, and then they will be marking those lymph node parts on my face and my neck. And then my surgery starts about lunchtime, and we'll start with a lymph node resection. Now that was by choice. I was given the option to do the lymphoscintigram first, see what the outcome of that was and what the inflammation markers were, and then go from there. However, the risk factor of my age, the younger you are, the quicker this kind of cancer is to metastasize and move around in your body. And my percentage based on the size of what they've removed and all the other factors of how they stage it has put me at a 7% increased risk, without considering my medical history and my family's history. Now, I don't know if I've ever spoken about this because it probably never come up or was not necessary, but my paternal grandmother died at the age of 64 from stage 4 melanoma in her face, which was found accidentally. It's a whole story. Maybe I'll talk about it one day, but I can't get that out of my head. I haven't been able to get that out of my head. So that has played a big part on how I've processed this. This is also the first day today that I've been able to speak about it out loud to anyone other than Jake properly. I went to my appointment by myself this morning. It's just, again, one of those things, like, it's just, this is when you need to be here, come. And so I went, and I felt so sick, and I don't get anxious and nervous about things, but this has absolutely shooken me to my core. I am okay. I am talking about it. I'm stimming a little bit again today. My stims are back, so I think I've like come back down to earth. I have been telling people, like, as I've sort of gone, people have noticed that there's been a shift, or like I have mentioned, obviously I put a TikTok up saying that I had to come home. That wasn't a clickbait situation. It was a, hey, there's a thing going on. I don't want to talk about it right now. And the reason for that, I'm usually very good at sharing things straight away, but like, this is fucking big and scary, and I didn't know enough. And so I wanted to wait until I saw the actual surgical doctor, the oncology doctor, the plastic surgeon, the skin cancer doctor, and put it all together and get the proper picture. And that's what today was. So I love that my appointment was first thing in the morning, because like I didn't have to wait all day. So anyway, we've done it. I have done my hospital admission today. My surgery will obviously lymphoscintigram, lymph node resection, see how that goes, and then it'll either be successful, or he'll say I couldn't get to them, they were too tiny, or whatever it was, and then the next phase will be treatment, whatever. But I will be having my ear reconstructed, so they still need to take like a good chunk. So he is going to reconstruct my ear with a full thickness skin graft from somewhere on my body. He's going to try for like my neck area, because he said it heals really well, and it's the same sort of skin feel, but he said it's hard because the ear, the eyelids, the eyebrows, and the nose, you don't have much to work with. If it was like your face, or like here, your arms, your belly, he said plenty of tissue to play with, but he said this is a very hard area. So $4,500 later, first plastic surgery, and not by choice or on a boob job. So we've been joking around. We're at that phase. We're at the joking phase now. My name in my husband's phone is now Chopper. If you don't know, then it doesn't matter. But anyway, we're at a very if you don't laugh, you'll cry sort of situation. And I am so dehydrated from all of the crying I did, that I'm at a point now where I can talk about it, still saying the word cancer is very scary. I just had to fill out my online paperwork, and I said to my husband, wow, this is full circle. I sat here 2 years ago doing my admission form to have my baby, and now I'm doing it to have cancer surgery. And literally the paperwork is like going through all of your medical history, and it says, do you have or have you ever had cancer? And I was like, whoa, like just triggering, traumatizing. They don't prepare you for that shit. He said there's no point rushing you in for surgery like this week. He said I'd rather do it on a day where I've got more time because I'm very busy this week with surgeries. He said I think we need to wait for the lymphoscintigram anyway. It would be silly to move forward without that, because it would then potentially mean another surgery that we could get away with, another anesthetic. So he said let's book it for next Tuesday, and he said usually a week's notice is like what they need. And I got in the car and oh, this is so gross. I got in the car and drove about 30 meters down the street, and a number rang me. So I answered, and she was like, oh, hey, it's so-and-so from the doctor's office. I just got a call about your lymphoscintigram already, and they can do it on that morning. So please be at the hospital for 7 a.m. So it's going to be a long day, but you know how this is going to go with white sheets. My arm is still bleeding. So anyway, how much of it will I talk about or document? I don't know. I'm in a headspace of like, this is my thing, this is my journey right now. I've already put my foot down and told everybody that I understand everyone's going to deal with this their own way, and you know, yeah, it's triggering and it's scary and all the rest of it, but for once in my life, I actually had a meltdown of why me, and I've never been that person. I've always accepted whatever happens, but I definitely had that moment, and I think that's okay. I think that's allowed. But yeah, the only people that really matter in this situation right now is me, my husband, my kids, and my closest family. And obviously, yeah, like I'm more than happy to talk about it like I am with everything, but I'm sure there's going to be some days where I'm going to be like, I just don't want to, and that's also okay. I'm going to use this one because this is white and this is a bit bleedy. Oh my gosh, I don't understand. Some days great, some days not. Anyway, I'm just going to deal with this. But that's the patch I'm using. So anyway, thanks for listening to my TED Talk. It's like, please, you don't have to tell me that you're sorry. You don't even have to comment. I'm genuinely sharing this because I share my whole life on here, and I'm proud of myself for giving myself the week to like just divulge, process, be with my family. It's actually been really beautiful. And yeah, just being with our feelings and dealing with it how we need to. My husband's an absolute gem. I'm not just saying that because he can hear me. It's a pain in the ass still, but no, I'm very, very grateful. I feel very grateful to be surrounded by the people that I am. And I know that if I need anything at all, we've got a million people that will absolutely stop, drop and roll. So yeah, thank you so much for listening and hearing me out. But please know that I am okay, other than my arm bleeding out right now. And yeah, look, let's just get to next week and get this sorted and hope and pray, keep everything. That's all I want. All I want is just the good prayer jujus, to just pray that we have the surgery, we do the resection, and everything is okay from there on out. We get it. I'm going to have checks 3 monthly for a year or two. I already know that. So that just is what it is. That comes with the territory. But yeah, I'm more shitting myself to have surgery again. I don't do well with surgery. So anyway, I'll be staying overnight, which is nice. And the hospital I'm going to has great food. It's where I had my baby. So yeah, if you work at Subi, let me know.